All right, welcome in everybody. It is Saturday, time for total bases. Don't worry, I will address the 5%er that I had last night, but I'm not going to ruin one of my segues to do it. So we're going to start where we started yesterday in the Subway Series, national TV on Fox tonight. Yankees Mets, some early offense yesterday, but the full game total ended up coming in right on 7. Bryan Leonard, we talk about that key number on the total, 7 to 7.5. It came into play in the Yankees game last night. If you had under 7.5, you had yourself a winner. With the under, the Yankees get it done as well. National TV Saturday night, Fox. How are you seeing Yankees Mets?
Yeah, it's nice that we talk about something, being able to shop for that extra half a run, and it happens in that same game the next on that day. So it's something you need to do. You need to shop for the best lines possible. I thought there was still value on the 7 under, and I thought we were there. Didn't get there. In fact, it was one of those days that I don't want to remember. I lost my 5% as well. So not the offense yesterday I thought they were going to have. And there was a few games where I liked some runs scored, and it didn't happen. So we'll see. Let's get it back today. Yankees on the mound today. We got Rodon, the lefty. He's about a 120 favorite over Brazoban, who will be a 1-inning guy for the Mets, and they will come back with their lefty out of the bullpen, and that seems to be working out pretty well for them. If you take a look at the Yankees hitting, still the bottom part of the order has been horrendous as of late. From a pitching standpoint in the bullpen, they did use their 8th and 9th inning guys in Cruz and Bednar yesterday, throwing 15 and 21 pitches, but they had the last 2 days off. So not worried at all about the Yankees there. Where I am worried is the New York Mets. Their best starting pitcher so far this season, out for a long time. Who knows when he's going to be back? It's these injuries to starting pitchers. We saw it yesterday. The Dodgers starting pitcher was pulled. The Mets or the Marlins decided to go with in their game. There was a starter involved, which took away one of our plays, but it's frustrating right now. But from the Mets standpoint, the bullpen's in pretty good shape. The only guys they used were the back or the front end guys, the Kimbrels, the Warrens, and the Myers. So both bullpens look pretty well today. Peterson will get the vast majority of the innings today, and he's actually pitched much better coming out of the bullpen. From an offensive standpoint, we're still getting some guys that have been hitting pretty well for the Mets. But if you're a New York Met player and you're just starting to crawl back, and all of a sudden your best starting pitcher, or at least the one that's been the most consistent on the season, is out for a long time now. I know the Mets have got some guys. They'll probably bring up one of the younger guys to take his place. But that's got to hurt. It's frustrating as hell. And it's frustrating for a lot of these pitchers and these teams. I don't know if you guys have charted it, but I've never seen so many injuries to really good pitchers. I've said this before. They're to the point now where they're throwing too hard. And just wait till Mizorowski gets hurt. And I don't want to think about injuries to anybody. But he's a young guy, and anything can happen. As hard as he throws, 104 miles an hour last time he was out. They need to do something. They're costing themselves too many games. Take something off. That's how you stay in this game. But here, for the game that we're talking about, I don't have much here. The Yankees aren't hitting well enough for me to want them, and but I do like Rodon as a starting pitcher. But he didn't look that great first time out, and he's had some walk problems in the past. So we'll see what happens here. But I think the line's pretty close to being right.
Yeah, TB, let's get you in here. Yankees, Mets, anything in this one for you?
Yeah, I went 4-0 in MLB yesterday. I had the Yankees, the Braves, the Athletics, and then I had the Guardians first 5 under 2.5. So it was a good day for me. And I just won 2 KBO plays too. So nice. I'm pretty happy. Sorry, guys. I hear people in the comments saying yesterday was a bad day. So sorry about that. But it was a good one for me. So it's going to be like this. It's a long season. There's going to be ups and downs. But if you're up in the long run, that's really all that matters. So stick with it and bounce back. this was one of my winners yesterday. I had the Yankees, and I liked them yesterday, but I'm not so sure about today because Rodon has looked awful. He's walking more guys than he's striking out. Both of these teams have a good bullpen, but I just don't trust either of the starters. Well, Peterson's not exactly a starter, but he's going to probably shoulder the majority of the innings here. I have Rodon and Peterson on a curve of 30 ranked below 22, both of them. So I would say over 8.5 would be a way to go. It's going to be warm. It's going to be, I understand the ballpark is not exactly a hitter friendly ballpark, but I think this will get over 8 fairly quickly. So I put out a free play on WagerTalk.com on that, and that's how I think I'll go.
Yeah, I want to pull up this comment right here and just chime in on some of the pitching talk because I don't have a real heavy lean one way or the other in this game. But Robert says they're not being taught to pitch in the minors. They're being taught to throw as hard as they can for as long as they can. That mentality breeds injuries. So
You're muted.
Just turn yourself off.
I did mute myself. I don't know why I did that. I in my head I wanted to minimize that comment, and instead I pushed mute. I don't know why I did that. Sorry about that. So first of all, I think they're being taught that at a younger age. That's something that they're doing in travel ball, in high school, in college. And then the other problem is, going back to Brian's point, these young guys are getting to the minors and they're flying through the system. So they're not getting a ton of time at each level to develop. Why is that? Because there's so many injuries to pitching. I've said this a few times. So, I handwrite out minor league rankings every day. Pitching, hitting.
Old school.
There's not much on the pitching side right now, okay? And it's actually the pitching right now. So I've been betting minor league baseball every single day since 2021. There was no minor league baseball in 2020. I got into it in 2019. 2020's COVID. Season gets canceled. I started doing it in 2021. I've been making money on it ever since, okay? It's like one of the most exploitable markets you're going to find in all of professional sports. I've never had pitching rated this low at the AAA level. Why is that? So many injuries at the big league level, so many injuries at the AAA level. Anytime that like these guys just continue to go down, and now you got guys that would normally be in a rotation at the AAA level, and even more so. And the point I'll sort of bring it back to here to maybe support Tokyo Brandon's point a little bit is that there are no relievers. None of these AAA teams have any bullpen guys. And the ones that would likely be in AAA are in big league bullpens, some of which are even in big spots right now. Mm-hmm. So you start talking about like some of these full game overs, unless you're like a team that's like totally buttoned up, you're going to get some extra runs late in a lot of these games. And the Mets are no real exception to that at this point. So, and then just to talk about yesterday, the total, TB, your total would have landed 4 if you shopped it around. For the sake of the parlay, which we lost anyway, 3.5. But man, the Yankees, when they're 2 out at bats, this team is so relentless at the plate, 2 out hitting. I can't tell you how many times this year that I've been burned by a 2-out hit by the Yankees. And yesterday it was Spencer Jones in the 5th inning to push that from 3 to 4. It's tough to bet against the Yankees right now, unless you have a really good reason to do so. And that's kind of how I would leave it here. I told the folks, listen, I'm not going to, I will come right. I had a 5%er last night. I see some people upset about it in the chat. I'm upset about it. Just don't get me wrong. Like I'm upset about it too. I had a play yesterday. My 5% play was the Rockies plus 1.5. I'm out of the first inning. Wait a minute. There's Torey Lovello asking for the headset. He said, no, we're going to review that call at third. Corbin Carroll, I think he was safe. He was safe. And they gave up 6 runs, all with 2 outs. I mean, you're talking about a bang play at third that goes my way, and we're hitting in the bottom of the first, probably taking a lead because, of course, Merrill Kelly gave up a solo shot to Hunter Goodman. Instead, it's 6-0. It's a game of baseball. That's going to happen. You can't convince me that didn't totally change the game. It's an entirely different game if Freeland gets out of the first inning and maybe even the Rockies are in the lead. But stuff like that happens. It is what it is. It doesn't make me think. I don't think my handicap was per se like wrong necessarily, but like you're also sort of dead on arrival when you just go down 6-0 in the first inning. Why am I going into detail? And I'm not really complaining. This is a setup for the next game we're going to talk about, because I'm coming back with the Rockies today. Same play, +1.5, 4% client play. And because I feel bad that a lot of you guys bought the 5%er last night, I'm going to give out one of my 4%ers for free. Could normally charge $25 for it on the site. I'm not going to do that. Going to give it out for free. So that is going to be my parlay leg. I like them for a lot of the same reasons here. I'll go to Bryan Leonard first. Do you like that, or do you not want to mess with the Rockies after a couple losses?
It's funny. I don't remember who said it. If it was somebody watching the show in the comments or whatever, they talked about Kelly yesterday and the Arizona starter, and there was a lot of agreement on that. He's done. He throws a complete game, gives up 1 run. Between that and Tokyo Brandon telling everybody to join us for our 5% plays, I think Tokyo Brandon jinxed us. He's had that ability.
And then he went over. He's over there going 4-0, and then he's going
4-0, and he tells people to buy us, and all of a sudden
6-0 if you include KBO. My fault. It's me.
It's funny how these things work out, but it was pretty amazing on some of these games. But yeah, you're getting a total of 11.5 here. Rodriguez is the lefty, about a 135 favorite on the road. Sagano's he's actually done pretty well for Colorado. I didn't like the signing, but thought these guys have been doing pretty well for them. But it's another team that is dealing with some pitching problems, and their hitting has been very inconsistent as of late. Arizona's the better team. I like Arizona. Do I want to lay this price? No, I do not. So I find no fault in getting on Colorado some way here. And they're much better hitting team at home than on the road, although we talked about that. Their road record is still bad this year. Not quite as bad as it normally is, but it's still bad. They have not done much on the road. I was higher on Colorado earlier. They have not done well now, but keep in mind, we're starting to warm up around the country now. There'll be a lot of runs scored in Colorado this year if it's a warm weather game. We didn't get them in Oakland last night, or Sacramento, excuse me, but got to keep in mind with the weather getting warmer, and it didn't happen yesterday in basically any of the game, other than the Philadelphia game where Pittsburgh blew a 6-0 lead. Another wild game. If anything is going to turn you off of betting baseball, yesterday was the day. But I think Arizona wins, but I'm not going to lay that number.
TB, over to you. Break the tie one or the other here. Diamondbacks, Rockies, how are you seeing it?
I generally stay away from games played in this monkey ballpark, but let's see. Hitting wise, Rockies are hitting better than the Diamondbacks currently, but Rodriguez's numbers against these Rockies would keep me off playing the Rockies here. A 601 OPS lifetime and 53 at bats. Not stellar, but it's definitely better than average. Don't know how many of those numbers were accumulated in the Rocky Mountains. So since I can't disseminate that data very clearly, I'll probably stay off of it. But I think the Diamondbacks are a better team, but Colorado plays better at home generally. So yeah, I'll stay away, but I would take the Diamondbacks if I had to.
Yeah, listen, Sugano, Brian mentioned it. He's done his job for the Rockies. He goes out there, he throws strikes. He's not going to strike anyone out. He's going to pitch to contact. He's going to pitch to contact that he hopes doesn't leave the ballpark. But I've noticed this with the Rockies. So I commented on this the other day. Other than Dollander, who's actually just hit the IL, which is unfortunate for them. Other than Dollander, none of the Rockies pitchers throw hard. Like, it's like they're targeting, like they're trying to find guys to throw off speed and can induce some weak contact, and then they just pray it doesn't get hit out of the ballpark because, of course, it's a big park. You know, the ball travels there. The air is thin, but the park is huge. One of the biggest outfields in baseball. So I think what the Rockies are doing, which has worked to an extent, is soft contact. You can hit the ball. That's fine. We've got guys that we think can make plays. And yeah, is there going to be games? Yesterday is such a perfect example. Freeland out of the inning. Suddenly he gives up 5 or 6 balls that find grass. All of a sudden you've got a 6-run inning. You're going to have to, like, that is a possibility. But I think more often than not, like when you look at this team last year, it was a given that they were going to give up like 8 runs a game. This year, look at their bullpen as compared to last year.
Mm-hmm.
Middle of the pack in the big leagues. Middle of the pack. Last year, they were dead last. They got 2 or 3 guys coming out of that bullpen that throw 100 miles an hour that can get guys out. So it's a much improved team. Sterling Thompson probably gets the start today. He made his major league debut in a pinch hit role last night. He's been tearing the cover off the ball at AAA. So I'm excited to see him get a chance. I think the Rockies battle today. So I took that +1.5 again. It's only -120. Felt like that was fair. That'll be a 4%er for me and my clients. And that'll hopefully kick off a parlay win. Because as the chat has reminded us, we needed a parlay win at this point. Couple reverse sweeps on the parlay. So Rockies +1.5 is how I'll go for the parlay. And we'll kick it off there. Yeah. Someone in the chat says Arizona cover. Hey, it's possible, but I think the Rockies are going to come to play today. Got embarrassed last night. Going down 6-0 before you ever get a chance to hit, embarrassing in front of your home fans. I think they bounced back so far today. All right, please talk Rays Marlins. We can do that. Tokyo Brandon, I'll start with you. Kick us off. Rays Marlins. I believe this is Nick Martinez, Sandy Alcantara. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, 2 pitchers who, I've never been a big Nick Martinez fan. I mentioned last time he started on this show that he was pretty bad in Japan, actually. I was pretty surprised major league teams were signing him. I think when he went back, the Padres signed him. I forgot where he went right away, but I've never liked him, but man, he's pitching well. And Sandy Alcantara is a guy I really like. I've always liked him. I think he's great. But Nick Martinez is actually pitching better than him. Taking a look at the bullpens, Miami has the advantage at bullpen, but the Rays are really crushing. They're scoring a lot of runs. They're not really known for hitting with power and scoring a lot of runs, but that's what they're doing right now, and they're doing it better than Miami. But yeah, I'll probably stay away from this because I have too many conflicting data. I like Miami's bullpen. I like Tampa Bay's bats. I like Sandy Alcantara. I don't like Nick Martinez, but his numbers are really good. So there's just too much conflicting data. So I'm going to stay away from this one.
TB, I'm going off memory here as well. I believe Nick Martinez, when he came back, had stints with the Padres, Rangers, and Reds. I'm going off of memory. He may have had another team in the mix there. But Brian, what we know is the Rays tend to do a great job with pitching, right? Doesn't matter who you are. If you are a pitcher, especially if you are a pitcher that's been around the block, maybe hasn't like totally caught on somewhere, you want to go to Tampa because they always seem to develop pitching. You got guys that leave there, Shane Baz being one of them. Now he can't pitch, although of course he pitched good yesterday, but the other day. But the point is, Tampa is a place you want to go if you're a guy like Nick Martinez. Maybe he's just benefiting from being there with the right pitching coaches. But yeah, TB's right. He has looked really good so far this year.
Yeah, he definitely has. And they signed him as the free agent, so they knew what they were getting. They're able to sign fringe guys and have them perform pretty well for them. And, even with Griffin Jacks, he came into the season as the closer. And now he went 4 really strong innings last time out. So they're able to develop the young pitchers and find ways to get innings out of these guys. And from a bullpen situation, their best 3 bullpen guys, Baker, Clevenger, and Kelly, have not pitched the last 2 days. They only had to use Seymour yesterday and a little bit of Casey Lamina or however you pronounce the name, 19 pitches. But overall, they're really set up very well here. Nick Martinez has been very good, as was mentioned. it's tough to go. You mentioned tough to go against the Yankees. It's tough to go against Tampa right now. They're finding ways to win. Yes, they're the luckiest team in Major League Baseball right now, but they continue to find ways to win. They win the one-run games, and that's really a lot of. If you take a look at teams that have really good records, a lot of the times they're really good in one-run games, and they have been. This team is built to play one-run games. As I mentioned before, they remind me of teams back in the old days in the National League with a lot of speed, and they don't have as much speed as like the Cardinals or the Royals would back in those days, but they are a team that is well coached, find ways to win. Miami is a team we like. We've talked about this many times, but from a line standpoint, I somewhat lean here with Tampa Bay. I'm seeing anywhere from 135. There's one place out there is a 150. Caesars has got a 150 right now, but you're getting it from 135 to 140. If it got down to 130, I think I'd be on Tampa Bay here. I don't trust Martinez fully. I don't trust Alcantara fully because they've been very inconsistent. But with the line of 7.5 on the total, it'll be a low-scoring game. And the Miami closer is back. He was on the IL. He has not pitched yet. So if they do get into possession to come in, how confident are we that he is going to pitch well, which he hasn't pitched in the major league in like two to 3 weeks in a key role. So somewhat like Tampa Bay, can't go wrong with a team that's finding ways to win, but a little bit more than what I want to pay at this point.
I'm with you. I like the Rays here. I wish the line was cheaper. I will be watching the board throughout the day to see if it gets cheap enough. I doubt it will, but you never know. The Marlins and Alcantara will take money at time to time, so maybe it will. But why like Nick Martinez? He has a profile that you don't see very often so far this year. That is intriguing to me. And I'll quickly summarize it. He is generating soft contact. He's not giving up hard hit, yet he's constantly in the zone. So he's living in the zone. He's not walking anyone. He's throwing a lot of strikes, but he's rarely getting squared up. And then you look at his pitch mix. He's only throwing a fastball about 11% of the time. So if you're up there as a hitter and you're seeing all strikes, which means there's nothing you can really just let go because he's constantly peppering the zone with strikes, and it's sinker, changeup, cutter, curveball, and like you can't just go up there looking for a fastball because you never really get one. Barely throws it. So he's mixing the pitches really well, keeping hitters off balance. His hard hit rate percentage, which would be the lowest hard hit rate, is top 10% in the league. Mm-hmm. And his exit velo is top 10% in the league in terms of how good it is, which means it's the lowest. So you see those two things. Even though he doesn't strike many guys out, this is going back to like the point I think Brian kind of alluded to. It's not enough guys that pitch these days. Got a lot of guys that throw, a lot of guys that have these crazy spin rates and like had nasty stuff, but not a lot of guys that pitch. Nick Martinez has gone to Japan. He's been around forever. I kind of think this guy knows how to pitch, and now he's paired with the Rays, who as an organization have always been good at getting guys to pitch and maximize their potential. Kind of feels like a breakout year for him. Like I think he might keep this up, and for that reason, I can only look toward the Rays here. Someone come in and bet the Marlins. Give us a better price. I asked for that the other day, and it happened. And then I was able to bet the Brewers and got a nice win. I asked on the show, I said, please someone bet the Padres so we can come back and take the Brewers at a better price. And they did it. And we came back and took the Brewers for a win on Thursday. All right, I'll go to Brian first, then we'll go to TB. Red Sox, Braves. Red Sox fell short last night. The people want to know, Boston, Atlanta, do the Red Sox have a chance today? I know you were looking toward the Red Sox last night. Are you coming back with them today?
Yeah, there was a comment in yesterday about the Red Sox not being able to get a guy home from third base. They tied the game up 2-2 and then lose in the bottom of the inning. Yeah, it was one of those days right now that you've got to have. I like some of these hitters on Boston, but I don't know if it's the hitting coach or what's going on there. They just have not found a way to get on base and bring in runs this season. Maybe I just have too much confidence in these younger guys. but they have not done it, and they once again did it yesterday to get a nice pitched game and come away with the loss. Totally on the mound, lefty against Elder, who was a guy we normally look to fade, but we've got Atlanta at 125 range, 125 to 135, total of 8. There are a couple 7.5s out there, but at 125 to 130 range, isn't Atlanta like a little bit of a cheap? I know we're not a huge Elder fan, but he's done some things different this year. He's become a much better pitcher than he was in the past. Peyton Tolley we do like him. He's a guy with a nice future, but do we trust the Boston bats? Let's take a quick look at the team totals here. Boston team total is sitting at 3.5, pretty much even. You could lay 120 on that. Pretty decent hitting ballpark here, but do you really think Boston's going to score 4 runs? I don't know. I may find a way here to play Atlanta somehow, and maybe I've learned my lesson from yesterday. But this Boston team they're not hitting, they're not finding ways to win, and we just talked about Tampa Bay, a team that is finding ways to win. So, yeah, I won't be back on Boston today. I'll tell you that, and I apologize for anybody who followed me yesterday.
Shout out to TB because he kind of clocked this Red Sox disaster like the first week of the season when they were 1-5, and his exact words were, "It's probably going to get worse," something to that effect. I thought that was a crazy statement, and it has absolutely gotten worse. You talked about the Red Sox inability to hit. Okay, they fired their whole coaching staff. One of the guys that they fired was their hitting coach. The person that they promoted to the hitting coach is a guy by the name of Nelson Paulino. He's been in the organization for over 2 decades, and he's never been higher than A ball or high A. So he's spent the entire last 2 decades or however long, it's something like 20 years, with the Red Sox organization at either single A or high A. That is the big league hitting coach for the Red Sox right now. I mean, I don't know. Like, I've never coached hitting. I don't know if that's like a crazy jump to like have a guy that's never coached at a level in your organization higher than high A be your Major League Baseball hitting coach, but doesn't look like it's working. Just leave it at that. Tokyo Brandon, Red Sox, Braves. Do you want the Braves here?
Yeah, some of these organizations, they promote based on the seniority system, and he's a baseball guy and he's a Red Sox guy, and really they don't have qualifications, and that's why teams end up sucking. And my exact words were, when the Red Sox were 1-5, I said they're peaking. And they kind of were, actually. And making hires like this is why teams don't progress. You know, you need to hire someone who's actually going to coach the guys to get better, not hire someone because he's a baseball guy. So this is what annoyed me by working for one of the baseball organizations, because you could see it happening, and it was pretty stupid decisions based on nothing. So sometimes you wonder, the guy has pictures of your wife or something. Geez, they're getting so many chances. They're performing so poorly. But anyway, on to this game. Red Sox are not hitting. You nailed it. And I'm pretty much aligned with Brian. Bryce Elder is not a household name. He's not a top 20 pitcher or anything like that. But in 32 at-bats against these guys, he's got a 188 average and a 454 OPS, which is 300 points below what I consider the Mendoza line for OPS. Both bullpens are performing really well, especially Boston's. Boston's bullpen, I got them ranked 6 in MLB, and I got Atlanta ranked 9 in current form. Doesn't mean that's who they are, but it means that's current form. Both starting pitcher. I mean, Tolley's been really good. Man, he looks like a guy from Oklahoma, doesn't he? He's just huge, 6'6", 250, burly guy out there, but he can throw. And a whip, sub-1 whip. Granted, it's only 4 starts, but under would be the only way I would go. It takes a lot of testicular fortitude to take the Braves under, but man, you know, I expect similar repeat to what happened yesterday. Boston's team total under 3.5. That makes a lot of sense to me. I would align with Brian here.
Tokyo Brandon, I got to bring this comment up. I agree with you. I'm going to tell you why in a second. But Anthony says Boston scored 3 runs in the first last time Elder pitched, but you idiots won't bring that up. So I'll respond to that. 1, that's irrelevant. 2, I got dumber reading that comment. And 3, I'm going to bring something up that's actually like actionable that you can take with you and potentially make a bet on this game. Bryce Elder is a big golfer. And he went golfing with Greg Maddux. They thought they were going to play golf. They ended up spending the whole day together. And Greg Maddux actually helped him with his sinker. And if you know anything about baseball, you know if you have a day with Greg Maddux and he's going to like teach you something about pitching, it's probably something you should implement. It's probably something that, I mean, he's literally one of the best, maybe the best to ever do it from a pitching standpoint. Bryce Elder's sinker has been straight up unhittable. If you go to Baseball Savant, you will realize that his fastball run value, which is essentially the combination of his sinker and now four-seamer, which he's throwing 50% of the time, is top 1% in Major League Baseball this year. His expected ERA is under 3. His expected batting average is 2.08. This dude has like pretty much on the fly remade himself, and the league just has no clue what he's done, how to attack him. He looks like Greg Maddux out there. He's got an ERA under 2. He's been phenomenal. Every bad thing I ever said about Bryce Elder, I take back, although I really don't, because prior to him working with Maddux, he wasn't doing this. But he's implemented that into his game, and he's been tremendous. So, yeah, I have no problem with Braves. I have no problem with Tokyo Brandon's under, because the league hasn't really figured this out yet. And if you've watched him pitch, it's been really, really good.
Anthony, I'll take the Red Sox today. I'll take the Braves. We'll see who wins. See me in the chat on Monday.
I'm just saying, it's like, what
smart.
does 3 runs in the first inning ever matter? Like, why would that matter? Like, about any, like, how, what are you going to derive a bet from that? It's just like baseball's so random.
Dude.
Sometimes the scoring comes all in one inning. Sometimes teams hit solo homers. It's just,
All
I
right.
don't know.
I'm getting dumber reading the chat, so I'm turning the chat off. But look,
Yeah, it's a one game sample size.
He has such good numbers against this team. He gave up 3 runs in 1 game last season, and you're going on and on about it. Stop, dude. Please.
I just don't understand what, But if you're gonna say idiot, I gotta call it out, and then I'm just gonna, I had to respond to that. But I think you should listen. I think that's something you guys should know about Elder, because whatever he's changed is absolutely working. That pitch is diving back into the zone. Lefties can't hit it. It's going into righties. He's got everyone confused. And as you watch this sport long enough, and someone makes an adjustment like that, the league will figure it out at some point, because these guys are the absolute best in the world at the hardest sport in the world. But it's not something that happens overnight. And we already said we got a guy from A-ball helping the Red Sox learn how to hit. So do they figure it out today? Did they even identify that? Who knows? All right, let's go to Bryan Leonard here.
Sounds like a fan, a Red Sox fan. Must be.
Red Sox fans they're much more. If it was a Red Sox fan, they'd already probably know that, and they'd be like, sell this team, get this team, sell the team. That's every Red Sox fan wants the team sold right now. We've been selling our parlays the last couple of days, though. We got to change that. So I've already locked mine in. I'm going to Bryan Leonard for a game. How are you looking for the parlay here?
I normally shoot for a lot of underdogs. I just don't see a lot of underdogs have a lot of value today. Maybe that's good. Maybe that's your statement to let you know that underdogs bet them all. But I like Cleveland today. They switched up. It was supposed to be Williams pitching today. It's Cantillo. They switched them today and tomorrow. Cantillo, the lefty, going against our favorite punching bag, Chris Paddock for Cincinnati. And a main reason why I like him, not only is Chris Paddock on the mound, but take a look at what Cincinnati has in their bullpen. If you take a look at what they've done, yesterday was a bullpen day. They used Ashcraft 15 pitches, Santillan 19, Johnson, 25. If Johnson's one of your top three relievers in Pierce Johnson, you're don't have a serious bullpen. Brock Burke, 18. TJ Antone of the three Tommy John surgeries, 19. I always thought that guy if he could just stay healthy, he could be a great pitcher. Not too many people. I think he's only the third one that has come back from three Tommy John surgeries in history. I think there are two pitchers. But they're going to have to get a lot of innings out of Paddock because they've used all those guys yesterday. In fact, 4 of those 5 guys have pitched 2 of the last 3 days. So they're in trouble in their bullpen. They've already had problems with their bullpen bringing guys up from the minors because people continue to get hurt. They lost their closer. Chris Paddock is not a good pitcher, and I'm going to go against him. From Cleveland's standpoint, Cantillo's been terrific. He's a guy that is going to keep you off balance. I think that works out very well for the Cincinnati lineup. I think he'll have a lot of success. And as I spoke a few days ago about the bullpen in Cleveland, it's looking really good right now. I talked about Cage Smith. By watching the teams every day, you could tell you don't worry about the outcomes as much as you could tell if they're throwing the ball where they want to throw it. They're getting the breaks they need to get. And Smith right now in the last 2 weeks is ranked number 4 in baseball, and Zabrowski's number 2, and Zabrowski's number 4. Neither one of them pitched the last 2 innings or last 2 games. And in fact, they've only thrown, other than Peyton Pallette, who's the long reliever, they've only thrown it in combined 15 pitches the last 2 days. Cleveland bullpen has a huge edge here. Starting pitching, huge edge here. I don't like to lay numbers like this. There's numbers out there for Cleveland right now in the 150 to 165 range. I'll lay the 160 here because I think they've got advantages across the board, and you are getting your best hitter finally starting to heat up. Give me Cleveland, and I'll lay some chalk here. I'm sorry for underdog players, but I can't find anything today, at least at this point. It's early in the morning out here in Vegas.
Tokyo Brandon, life is all about opportunities. Some of these guys scratch and claw. They finally get their shot. They work all their way up, and then you've got guys like Chris Paddock who just get unlimited chances. Does not matter. Just get bombed in Minnesota, no problem. We'll pay him. The Marlins actually paid him money. He gets DFA'd. Reds, no problem. Unlimited chances. Here he is as a big underdog today. Are you in agreement with Brian? Do you like the Guardians here?
Yeah, you can get a double play, guys. 2 of us for 3 days, huge discount. Or if you only like one person, you can get any capper at WagerTalk. 3 days, 30% off. So go to wagertalk.com and grab one of those deals. We do these shows completely free, and we're giving out lots of information for you guys to make better bets. But if you want to reward us, you can pick up some plays or packages for us. That would be much appreciated. So I agree with Brian on this one. According to my numbers, the Guardians do everything better than the Reds. Except hitting, I got the Reds ranked slightly higher, but it's negligible, only 2 ranks higher. Cantillo is a much better pitcher than Paddock. Paddock must have some pictures of someone's wife because that guy just like you said, keeps getting chances and chances. He's got the owners. He's got pictures of the owner at a massage parlor or something because that guy, he doesn't belong. Woods Richardson also has to have some pictures of some owner somewhere because, man, these guys don't belong in Major League Baseball. I like Cantillo. I like the Guardians. I would go with them as well. You don't have to be an underdog bettor. You don't have to be a favorite bettor. You have to be a winning bettor. And that's probably the way you're going to be today if you take the Guardians. Yeah,
I mean, if you look at his career, like aside from like briefly when he got called up in 2019, he's basically a 5 ERA guy at the big league level. And it's like, I got to be honest, like seven starts this year. His ERA is like 8. WHIP is like 1.70. the Reds have never just, I don't know. I don't think the Reds have ever really been known as like miracle worker with pitching, like it was just an odd, I guess like at this point early in the season, you got to get some depth and he's going to be able to like go out there and maybe give you some innings. But yeah, I was surprised to see him pop up this quickly. Thought he might be headed to Korea or something, like maybe could have some success over there. So again, kind of with you, Brian. I think this feels like a really good just spot for the Guardians to get a W, and I hope for the sake of our parlay they do. Tokyo Brandon, we need you to close this parlay out. What game are you looking at here?
Okay, I'm going to do the Adam Trigger special. I'm going to take the White Sox plus 1.5 today. I like the White Sox, and I said on a previous show, I ranked all the starting pitchers 1 to 250, and Davis Martin number 3 in all of Major League Baseball. And I like him a lot. Teon, I actually like Teon in the season he's having, but honestly, the White Sox are hitting better than the Cubs in the last 10 days, and their bullpen is better than the Cubs in the last 10 days. So you put together the number 3 pitcher in MLB with the number 3 bullpen in MLB with a lineup that's hitting number 6 in MLB. Seems pretty good to get a plus 1.5 with them for minus 180. Yeah. That'll be my leg of the parlay. I after yesterday's loss, they'll probably come back and win this game, I think.
Ryan, Davis Martin has become an absolute strikeout machine all of a sudden.
He's great.
I think he's gone 9, 10, 7, 7 the last 4 starts. This is a guy I followed through the minors. Like I thought he could maybe hang around at the big league level, but like I never expected this from him. And you have to wonder, did he adjust something? Did he figure something out? I can't put my finger on it, but you cannot argue he is just getting a ton of swing and miss, and it's been going on for like a month now.
He definitely has. And sometimes guys will just, you'll hear stories about they were just playing catch with one of the other pitchers and says, hey, let me see how you throw that certain pitch or whatever. And then they try it out and it works really well for them. And that's a continual thing that if you chart these pitchers coming into the season, and that's one way to do it. And then after spring training is another, but you have to keep up on it all year long because you need to read what the local guys say about these guys. And they'll tell you stories like that. And your comment earlier about the Maddox situation. Maddox lives here in Las Vegas. He's a guy that, from what I've been told, is very communicative to anybody who asks him to help. And if you were around when he pitched, he was a magician. And anytime you can sit and talk to somebody like that, it's going to help you. It'll help you in the long run if you're paying any attention at all. And these guys, we just talked about Chris Paddock. Chris Paddock was an 8th round draft choice. There's like 8 guys in the Cincinnati major leagues right now. They're 1, 2, or 3rd round draft choice. They got an 8th round Paddock. I don't know why Paddock's still in the major leagues, but yeah, Chicago's a team on the rise. I like the White Sox here, and I can't disagree with the play.
I'll point out that you start to look at some of his metrics, and it looks very similar to Nick Martinez and why he's having success. Davis Martin, he throws 6 pitches. Every single one of them is competitive. They're all like competitive pitches. He throws them all for strikes. His walk rate is like top 8% in the league, which means he's not walking anyone. And he's not throwing any of them more than about 25% of the time, which means just very simple. You got a guy, if you're a pitcher and you can throw all your pitches for strikes and they're not out over the plate, they're competitive, and you mix it up, you're going to have success against today's hitter because today's hitter cannot prepare for 5 or 6 pitches. Tony Gwynn's not walking through that door. Like, the guys don't hit like that anymore. So I think if you start to target this profile, you're probably going to cash some, like, you're probably going to win some bets. You may hit your strikeout props over. You may hit your outs props. I'll start bringing it up on the show. I think this is like the preferred like profile of guy that you want to back that the books are not going to price crazy high. Like, these are guys that are flying under the radar. The books are not overpricing Nick Martinez. The books are not overpricing Davis Martin. So props to you, TB, because you called out Martin like before this run, a couple shows ago, and he's just been tremendous of late.
Let me say something about Tony Gwynn. He's the best hitter in the history of MLB, hands down. He could have, I read a stat, he could have gone 0 for 1,000 his last 1,000 at bats and still finished over a 300 batting average for his career. Something like that, man. That guy, go watch highlights of Tony Gwynn. That's the best hitter in the history of MLB, period.
Yeah, and you just don't have you just don't have guys that are really close to that anymore. And
you don't.
So if you have a guy that can throw 5 competitive pitches, they're going to have a lot of success as a pitcher. Go ahead, Brian.
I'm looking over projected strikeouts here, and we'll get TB's thoughts on this as well. There are 4 guys on today's card that are expected to strike out 6 batters or more. Christopher Sanchez, elite pitcher for the Phillies. Jacob deGrom, future Hall of Famer. Gilbert for Seattle, a guy that's been considered as one of the top 10, 15 pitchers in baseball for a few years now. And Davis Martin. He's expected to get 6 strikeouts today. So, as they say sometimes, so what is wrong with this picture? I tell you that this guy right now is getting to the point where he's getting pretty elite this year. Small sample size, still a small sample size, but everything underneath is what you look for, and it's been very impressive.
Yeah, and I think, final point here, like the Cubs, yes, they won the game last night. They did break out a little bit, but they haven't had great at-bats consistently over the last week and a half. So you could look at it one of 2 ways. You could look at it and say, well, last night was the breakout. Here comes the Cubs offense. Or you can look at it and say Davis Martin is getting a ton of swing and miss. These guys were struggling with worse pitching earlier this week. Why not the White Sox? You know me, Tokyo Brandon. I like this White Sox team. They've been mispriced all year. I actually felt like the price was pretty fair tonight or today on the money line. But yeah, you take the +1.5. We're doing a 3-team parlay, and that is going to make the 3-team parlay White Sox +1.5. You're looking about -175. If you don't want to parlay it, I still think you could play White Sox on the money line. I don't think it's a bad bet. I just don't think you're getting the value you maybe would have got a couple weeks ago. And then we've got Guardians on the money line for Brian, and I am going Rockies +1.5, -120. That is also a 4% play for me. My guy Roy in the chat's like, Trig, Brian, you guys got to have a day today. Lost a couple 5%ers yesterday. Well, I've already got 2 4s locked in as part of my card today. I may have a third. I did win in AAA last night. I will probably have more of that. And I might have some KBO. So I think I'm going to have kind of a higher volume day. I feel pretty good about it. We'll go to you first, Brian, and then TB, tell the people what you've got up on the site.
Yeah, I put up my hockey play for today. They've got 1 more game to go in this round before you get to the final 4 of the NHL. It's been a terrific NHL season so far. 60% on those, and I play a lot of underdogs. So 60% in the NHL, 63% combined NHL and NBA. I talked about that before the playoffs started. It's been very good. Don't know what the hell happened to my Cleveland Cavaliers. I didn't have anything on the game, but my Cleveland Cavaliers yesterday were a no-show. The heart on this team, I'm starting to be concerned about it. But in baseball, haven't put up anything yet, but I've given a few out on here that I'm leaning towards. Not finding a lot of value in the underdogs, so they might have to lay some juice today if you're looking for my card. But as Tokyo Brandon said yesterday, since we both had 5%, if you're going to join us on the 2 guys at the special price, get Tokyo Brandon 4-0, as you mentioned yesterday, 2-0 already today. He was a nice enough to send people our way. I'm sending it his way today.
You're cursing me. I have 2 MLB plays up right now, and there's a KBO play that I love, a matchup I love tomorrow. I'm just waiting for the numbers to come out, and I'm going to pounce like a lion on a piece of meat. So that's what I got up. And of the 4 pitchers you mentioned, Brian, I have all of them projected at 6, except DeGrom. I have him projected at 7. So use those for your props, guys.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that game, but I guess I'll just throw a little bonus. I think Jacob deGrom pitches well today. Do what you will with that. I think he's going to pitch. 37-year-old. A good game. He's thrown it. He's thrown it awesome of late. I've said a couple of times this week, I don't think the Astros can hit. Just not a good team. So I don't mind. I don't mind DeGrom related stuff there. But we do have our 3-teamer one more time on the way out. Rockies +1.5, -120. That is a 4% client play for me. I feel bad about getting my teeth kicked in last night on my 5% play, so I'm giving it to you right here for free on the show. Bryan Leonard's going Guardians -160. Tokyo Brandon's going White Sox +1.5, -175. That is the 3-teamer for today. We will see you guys Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern for more total bases. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you guys then.